How's it going, everyone? We are back with a new video on the channel, and ladies and gentlemen, I came home to some ridiculous news. Now, you guys saw the title. This right here is not bullshit. And we have spoken about ShoPro before on the channel, and the furthest extent of their actions would be either taking down YouTubers' videos by a copyright block or by a straight-up copyright strike, and if enough strikes were accrued, then channel termination would be on the way. Never in my wildest dreams have I ever thought I would see the day come where ShoPro would be straight up suing a Pokemon YouTuber. This is actually insane. So we ourselves a YouTuber by the name of Suede Blade, I hope I'm saying that right, and they tweet out, ShoPro aren't playing around anymore. They sent me a court complaint and got a huge chunk, not all, weirdly, of Journey removed. That's Pokemon Journey's anime, and are now demanding 802,000 yen plus legal fees. I'm going to have to lawyer up time for screaming, and this right here attached to the tweet is an image of the court complaint. Holy shit. And Suede replies, so many lawyers, local lawyers, international lawyers, Japanese lawyers in NZ, I think that's New Zealand lawyers in Japan, lawyers specializing in IP that aren't equipped for international law, lawyers specializing in international that don't do IP, time for more screaming. Okay, so I did a little bit of calculating when it comes to the 80,000 plus yen that was mentioned in the previous tweet, and it translates to around $702 US currency, which might not seem like it's that much money, but then again, I don't know the living situation of Suede Blade. I don't know if this right here is not really that big a deal financially, or if this right here is the difference between being able to pay rent or not for this coming month. But let's talk about the legal fees. That's a whole different issue right there. And especially if this case happens to drag on and on, this individual right here could be forking over a lot of money when it comes to legal fees. Like, this right here is a very, 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 very serious situation. So this right here is Suede's YouTube channel with recently hitting 20,000 subscribers, and taking a little bit of a look down the page, we can see that his channel is very much dedicated to the Pokemon anime. Now, I've actually never heard of this individual, therefore I've never actually watched their content, so I don't know exactly what their formula is. I don't know if they do it in a reaction style. I don't know if they do it in like a review style with imagery and short clips. I'm not entirely sure, but based on a conversation around this subject in one of the Discord servers that I am a part of, this individual doesn't exactly do things in, well, let's just say, a very safe way. Pretty much it can be summed up to the fact that this individual re-uploads those episodes with no filter, no audio deleting, or anything like that. He does have a fair share of commentary, but this right here poses a very huge risk. And I actually went a little bit further and watched one of his videos while I just skimmed through it, and I can most definitely see the problems here. Now, this most definitely does not change my stance against ShoPro. Their practices when it comes to indiscriminately taking down ANIPOKE tubers over fair use content, that is something that has always stuck in my craw for years, partly because I myself experienced it a few years back, but also various friends and acquaintances of mine have also had to be bullied by ShoPro despite their content being fair use. One such example would be Lumio's trainer, Zach. And if you guys are familiar with that man, if you're familiar with how he does his content, it is very, very well edited to the point where it fits well within the criteria of fair use. But yet, he almost lost his entire channel had it not been for YouTube stepping in. Now, this situation is very, very scary because depending on the outcome, it could set either a very good precedent for the ANIPOKE YouTubers, or it could set a very bad precedent for the ANIPOKE YouTubers. Let me explain real quick. Let's say if Suede ends up winning this case, not only would that set a massive precedent for all of the other Pokemon YouTubers, but it would also solidify further our fair use case. On the other hand, if he ends up losing this case, then ShoPro can potentially go around and remove any video with Pokemon anime in it for no reason. And guess what? There would be no legal precedent for us to counterclaim it. And that right there is really scary to think about, and I really truly hope that it doesn't get to that point, because if it does, not only can ShoPro violate us further despite fair use being a thing, a very big thing that by now they should be aware about, but I truly think that they purposely ignore that because they're such a big company, they don't give a fuck about fair use, and they can tread all over us when they please. But this right here is going to be a massive hit against any Pokemon YouTuber, and it's also going to be a massive hit against the online fans of the Pokemon anime because they're not going to be able to share clips, they're not going to be able to share memes, and maybe not even be able to share imagery in any way, shape, and form without risking being shut down by ShoPro. Now that right there is an absolute extreme case scenario, but then again, we do need to be prepared for what is to come. If the worst case scenario is to happen, or if something close to that happens, we need to be prepared, and we need to fight back. We ain't gonna bitch up and just clam up. We're going to fight back, because you know what? We are allowed to make this content. We are allowed to voice our opinions and voice our criticisms about Pokemon, you know? Like, if you are gonna be shutting us down because you don't believe in fair use, well, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, fuck you. You tried shutting down Lumio's trainer Zach, didn't work. You tried the same thing with Pokemon Ranger Boy 12, didn't work. And you tried the same thing with Zero Voltage, which for a while, it did work. But guess what? He got his channel back despite your asses trying to take him down. And guess what? There have been so many YouTubers that you have tried to bully into silence and into fear. Well, it's 2022, and we ain't taking that shit no more, so get with it. I kinda needed to let that off my chest because honestly, the more I got into talking about this, the more pissed off I was actually starting to become. And honestly, I feel like that the anger is very justified because imagine spending a good majority of your time for a few years, let's say maybe 5 years. 5 years you worked on something, and imagine if it suddenly got taken away. That's 5 years of your life's work just gone in an instant. How would you feel about that? You would feel pissed off too. And I almost had that shit happen to me back in the Mega Crasher days, but thankfully I don't have to deal with that shit nowadays because, well, I guess for whatever reason ShoPro leaves me the fuck alone, and I don't understand how I'm so lucky, but it shouldn't be me that they leave alone. It should be everybody that they leave alone. They should actually take us YouTubers and actually praise us for giving their products such publicity and such love, attention, and care, and maybe even strike up a collaboration of sorts. Maybe even have some sort of way where we can work together as a unit and further better the product for the whole world to enjoy even more so. I mean, I highly doubt something like that would ever take place, but who knows? Never say never, I guess. But you know what? ShoPro, my final message to you in this video is unfuck yourself. get your head out of your ass, stop acting like a one-man centipede, and actually understand the damage that you are truly doing with actions like this. You're not just hurting the ANIPOKE YouTubers, you're not just hurting the communities and the fans within those ANIPOKE YouTubers channels, but you are hurting your reputation, you are hurting your brand, you're hurting your IP, and you're hurting fans all around the world. So you're really screwing yourself to the point where you might as well shove a barbed wire cactus up your ass. That's the equivalent of what you're doing here. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say. Please, I urge you guys to share this video around. I'm talking Facebook, Twitter, Discord, YouTube community tab if you have that ability, and maybe even post it on Reddit as well and have this circulate. 2022 needs to be the year of change, needs to be the year where ShoPro finally gets it. It's the year of the tiger, and these tigers' fangs are going to be sinking hard into this.